This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
We mixed. We loaded it. We edited it.
Sometimes we get so deep into conversation that we have separate segments worthy of their own place in the sun.
Here is a reshuffled mini episode.
Live stream, you okay? It's been all okay over here. I'm just glad that you're
everything's good. No complaints.
So here for an amusing, sarcastic segue, I have comedian and podcaster Kevin Israel on to talk about some of those goofy, infamous apocalyptic book adaptations that were aimed at kids. They were for kids. What's going on?
Well, you don't want your kids reading about the end of the world and murdering other people to survive.
Having to comfort them. Oh, nightmares. It's like, so first there was the Hunger Games. The author has some infamy by saying, I didn't know about Running Man or Deadliest Game Ever Played. It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't think I read the Hunger Games. I saw the movies.
Yeah, and it's so funny is I think they're not that much different, but my sister was like, oh, why don't you want to read them? I'm like, because I saw the movie. I don't. The movie was kind of whatever. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. Yeah. And then you have Divergent and then the Maze Runner. And it's kind of funny how they start making less money, but they're kind of distributed by all these independent companies like Lionsgate and what have you. And
the Divergent series I read. My wife and I actually read it at the same time. We had a little book club, and
my sister saved my bacon on this one. Basically, it's just like the book wasn't that great, but the movie was kind of dumb fun.
the book, it's funny because they all the books start off sort of the same way. Like, you meet the character, they go through some kind of
I'm
training
the chosen
or
one.
coming of age. Yeah, you start to see that they are special or something. And
the Matrix, I know kung fu.
Right. Yeah, it's all the same beats.
It's Children of Men meets the Terminator. I don't know.
Divergent, if I remember correct, and spoiler alert if you haven't read or watched this.
That's all right. It's all sarcastic.
Because she dies, I think, at the end of the book, anyway.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah, she dies at the end of the.
And don't you love how no book fan complained about that?
Yeah. Well, the movies were really bad. Really bad. And I think they kept getting worse.
Oh, and that's just it. And I didn't feel like Kate Winslet's villain made any sense. She's a good actress. Don't get me wrong. I'm this Academy Award novelty, but then it's just like, okay, but why is she evil? A good villain, I want to understand. Just like Alan Rickman and Die Hard.
That's but that's all of they're all just bad. Why are they bad? Because they're bad.
They're just bad.
And then because there was.
Why do they hunt people? Because they hunt people.
Does Ender's Game fall into this category?
Kind of a little bit. Yeah, it's wild too, because that was one where the author was, I can't remember if he's already dead or not, but it was one of those, he was a problematic author behind the scenes.
Yes.
And then you're looking at, it's trying to combine space travel with,
with the same, and it's always kids. They've always got to be only kids can do this. We need kids to do it.
It's the last Starfighter meets Tron meets whatever else, and
But what's funny? So they're actually talking about doing a Last Starfighter remake.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in the works.
Oh God!
And that movie showed you just how it's such a simple and it was a great movie. I loved that movie.
I actually resaw it recently, and it's funny. Will Wheaton was in it. He was angry that they cut his scenes out as the best friend, but he's like, hey, I can't deny it's a fun movie that I would show my kids. But it is one of those, once you're past the age of 12, it doesn't really connect with me, but I understand why this was like the first video game movie, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, well, what if you were a gamer and you got contacted by a space force too?
It's like the dream. There was the movie, Gran Turismo, which was apparently based off a true story where they took kids who could play Gran Turismo and actually got them to race cars.
Yeah. I
It's like
actually enjoyed that.
it's every video gamer's dream.
Yes.
To be like, get called up, be like, this is that
I have a special set of skills.
Great. And you know what's, it's funny because, and I realize this has nothing to do with the topic we're supposed to be talking about.
It's somewhat related.
But the idea of like going somewhere to play a video game, like put quarters down and to play a video game and have a high score that people are like, oh, like that's kids today, kids. I mean, anybody, I don't know how old are you, Cam?
I'm in my 30s, but yeah, I know,
you're
but I know
right
what
on the cusp.
But I know what you mean. They would have had to have been there 24/7 with endless quarters, studying that arcade game inside and out.
Yeah, like I used to go to I worked in an arcade for 3 summers.
Oh wow!
Like that was a
to be that good, yeah, and especially in a console era is like, yeah, you would have had to have decimated everybody with cheat codes online or something.
And before that, it was pinball machines. There were people who played pinball machines and had the high score. But like that concept, which I don't know how they would translate that part. Like, I guess that's just going to be a video game console.
Asteroids
they if they're going to redo Last Starfighter, because it's not going to be a video game in like it was like at a 7-Eleven or something. But it's all of those movies. It's always about and obviously they're YA novels, so they want a main character that kids can understand and appreciate. But as an adult reading them, it's always a little creepy. Like it always feels like, ugh, like they're doing all this shit's happening to like 13-year-olds.
Yeah, and they don't have enough technology to save the planet, and yet everyone's taking them so seriously, and yet I think they all suffer from being very underdeveloped. Both the characters and just the stories. So it's like, okay, so they got enough technology for a virtual reality simulation, but not to eat and drink.
In fact, you know what? Speaking of post-apocalyptic movie that we just watched The Long Walk.
Yeah, the Stephen King adaptation.
Yep. Did you see it?
I haven't yet, but feel free.
I didn't read. I'm a huge Stephen King fan, and I've read tons of his books, but I haven't read. But I think that was actually a short story, or it was in like a compendium of short
one of his anthologies.
And he wrote that. Oh, you know what? I think that was written under the Bachman, his pen name. But
Richard Bachman.
That was also, like a bunch of young kids walking across the country. It was the end of the
world. Do or die.
Yeah. And another very, very simple concept. Stephen King's very good at building characters, building tension. He's very good at making hateable antagonists. Mark Hamill played the bad guy.
Yeah.
Which Mark Hamill showed up in a couple of things we've watched recently. And,
yes.
And he now and it's funny because Mark Hamill now has this like really like gravelly, deep voice.
Yeah, he's not doing the Joker or anything. It's weird.
Yeah, but like he'll always be Luke Skywalker to me. To most people, and you always picture like him with that high, and his like voice cracking. And now he's like got this like old man, like he's been smoking Marlboros for years. But that also, and Stephen King, as much as I love him as an author, he has some creepy fetish with doing terrible things to kids.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with him on
that. And this was just one more example. I mean, literally almost every book of his.
And just some kid dead.
I mean, maybe like Shawshank Redemption was just adults. But like there's almost all of his books have some like kid focused horrible thing happening to them. There's often like a weird sexual something that happens, and it's always, and I like, listen, he's a great author, he's prolific, but somebody should go knock on his door and be like, you all right?
Yeah. He does remind me of some of those Italian filmmakers who were just so intent on showing horrific images that it made you wonder, do you hate people? No.
Yeah. What happened to you as a kid?
I'm having too much cocaine and I gotta get it done. And And then you look at Roger Corman and how he was doing some schlocky B movies, and they would request certain stuff happen on screen. Is like, who were these creepy investors asking what and who
Yeah.
and what? You couldn't show nudity any other way. You couldn't show violence
Yeah.
any other way. My God.
But you know what? To your point, the post-apocalyptic story, the post-apocalyptic, I don't know, genre, I guess, it's still going strong. It's still, I mean, you have
good ones out there. Terminator.
But recently, look at Fallout. Fallout. I never played the video game, but the show was really
pretty good. Foundation, Matrix. Then you got what's the other one? C with Jason Momoa is like, what if everyone was blind?
C was so good, and I feel like nobody watched it.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I loved that show.
Coincidentally, that did have a Hunger Games director producer on it, Francis Lawrence, who had also he'd also done I Am Legend, and it's just hard to make a good one because sometimes they can be boring, other times they can be captivating, sometimes they can be cool, but outside of their ideas, they have like a tacked on ending.
You have to give it a different spin. Like first, you just invoked the name I Am Legend. Did you ever read that book?
I've read parts of it, and it's wild how they're kind of more vampiric in other adaptations.
They're vampires.
Yeah, and then they portray them as zombies.
They're totally vampires. Yeah. It's a short book. It's like 130 pages long. If you're listening to this and you like science fiction, horror, any of those genres, read I Am Legend. Read it and go understand that it has nothing to do with the Will Smith movie.
Right.
Like I mean,
even the Omega Man just has the ideas, but doesn't really do that in an action movie.
But I Am Legend was just such a great, creepy. I finished that book, and I remember I just sat there for a while, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like because it had a very specific. Yes. The title of the book had a very specific meaning within the book and within the story, and you didn't even get that in the movie. Like it meant nothing in the movie. The movie was so
watered down.
So it's so bad. I mean, it was just like another Will Smith property. Like, Will Smith's gonna go kill zombies.
Zombie film, and I Am Legend was the basis for George Romero's all his Night of the Living Dead movies. And what's so funny is he later apologized to Richard Matheson, and Matheson was like, "It's okay. It was a non-budget movie, so you didn't make any money off my book that you ripped off." But I like a lot of those movies because those show a lot of cool social, political commentary mixed in with who's the real big bad, all the tyrants who are impacted by the zombie outcry,
or
is it the zombies?
You're right, but I will say this. I have had enough of zombie post-apocalyptic.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of bad zombie movies. Don't get me wrong.
That's always, but it's always. I mean, Walking Dead beat you over the head with it, but it's always they're not the monsters. We're the monsters. Like the real monsters are what humans become.
They're here at home
when the structure's gone, and
we could be cannibals if there weren't zombies.
Right. But it's like okay, we've seen that
too much
1,000 times now. Like society breaks down. Culture breaks down, people break down. It's okay, we get it. Like if I have to watch one more zombie movie where it's like, look how bad, like getting your brains eaten is bad, but people stabbing each other in the back is even worse. And it's like, okay, all right,
it's been done to death. I wasn't born yesterday. I studied history, so I feel like more movies should be like good TV shows. Like, did you ever see the new Battlestar Galactica? Or
no, I know it was good.
How about Silo?
So, yes, I watched.
I
read the books. I read the.
Those are good books. Yep, and
great books.
A canceled show that they've tried bringing back for years, but were never able to do. Jericho. They've continued it in comic books, but I always thought that was a neat take. It's like what happened.
I saw Jericho.
So basically, you just see a bomb go off. The small towns impacted. All these government suits and other rebellious gangs kind of have their own turf. So it's kind of more strategic, tactical. Dystopia.
We just watched a show with what the hell's his name? James Marsden, where he was the president.
I love that one. That's a really good one. It's a great show. Paradise.
I think it got canceled. Did it get canceled? I think
no. Two more seasons.
Oh, there is going to be more seasons. Okay.
Yep. and they've all outlined it. So I'm just hoping they can raise the stakes. Paradise is the one you're thinking of, and and that was cool because it was kind of psychological, kind of. Yeah.
I mean, I thought they did first of all, whatever her name is, the actress who was the bad
Julianne Nicholson. Yeah, I've never seen her play a bad guy before.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. They were all fantastic.
Everyone had a layer to them. It wasn't going to be the billionth, hey, save the president. It's like, well, hold on a second. There's so many other things to this. And
it was very good. And it's a lot of these things are like, oh, that could happen. Like I'm sure there's a bunker somewhere where.
Right. They'll take liberties on the science, but at least they did the build up, the overlay. Yeah. They didn't just do expo dump. They feel like characters actually. Yeah. And I loved how they could only communicate through music. Hence why they get the song from the Phil Collins song. It's like, it's an irony.
Yep. Well, that's what and you know what? And the Silo series I really like because you learned about how things are. Mm-hmm. And then there was almost a whole book or half of a whole book was going back and you see how they got there. And that was I thought that was done so well. And because a lot of times when you get you get stuck into when you get used to being in one time period and a book switches, a lot of times it's jarring and I sometimes you won't enjoy it.
You have to add some imagination to how the characters look. Sometimes they're only fleshed out by X amount of pages and
they did that really well.
It's just so wild though how these newer apocalyptic movies are aimed at kids or young generation, and yet everyone's like, oh, it's so fleshed out. I'm like, guys, I really don't know anything about these people. I know about the actors playing them. How they get to Rome wasn't built in a day. So again, with all this malnutrition in the future, how did they get so physically pumped up to take on all these heavily armored kill squads?
And the two main characters are always beautiful.
Yeah, the makeup is unimpacted. It's like, well, here's the thing. Like we love Neo, we love Luke Skywalker because they take a bunch of trip falls. They're whiny for the first hour before they actually become a badass.
Right. I mean, Luke Skywalker is a masterclass in building.
It's like the original Chosen One is like, I'm basically from a blue collar equivalent in the galaxy.
And even when you get him to the the final stage, he's not perfect.
No. He doesn't know how to use his powers exactly. He's a wizard, but he's on
Jabba the Hutt. When he goes to get Han back, he still ends up getting thrown down the pit and has to deal with the Rancor. And he he's not a Mary Sue of a character.
Yeah, they find excuses to actually just if he doesn't have this, if he doesn't have that, what else can he do?
Yeah.
And again, Rome wasn't built in a day, so you gotta have just something. Because if I feel like nothing's gonna happen to your character, and the other thing that's just crazy with especially Divergent is just people would just randomly die. It's like, well, I don't even know them. Why do you even kill that person?
Yeah,
just cheap shock value.
Right. There was no stakes to me. I wasn't invested in that.
We'll return after these messages.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gabsy, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
That character. So just killing them off, you're just killing them off to be like, look, we killed somebody.
Hunger Games are wearing crazy makeup. It's like, where do they even get all this perfect makeup? I get that you're trying to show they're all elites and they all talk like spoiled kings and queens, but really? Such good actors in them too, and I feel sorry for them just trashing them because I'm like, hey, people got to eat. I like you, Elizabeth Banks. I like you, Jeff Daniels. I like you, whatever. But why are you doing this?
Yeah, they had a monster cast. But
Dylan O'Brien was in The Maze Runner, and I couldn't tell you anything about those movies. Like
they
I've had them all.
Did they do the series, the whole series?
I haven't the foggiest. I could look it up, but
I saw. I think I only saw the first one.
Yeah, it's like, and I can't even tell you what a Maze Runner is. They literally are just the kind of movies just on the background. I think I can only remember the third one just because it had a mega character, that guy cast like Giancarlo Esposito was a freedom fighter. I'm like, what's going on?
It's funny, when I was in college a very, very long time ago, we were on this, they call it anime now. Back then we called it Japanimation, but you can't say that now. But at the time, like, that was the section in the video store. It was called Japanimation, and my buddies and I got on this kick, and every we would rent out a different one, and I watched so many
infamous movies and talk about them afterwards.
But the one that I really stuck with me, that I've thought about so many times over the years, was a movie called Winds of Forget. And
Winds of Forget.
Yeah, and it's about I think it's set in the States. And something happened. This wind blew across the world and basically sent us all back to like the Stone Age. Like, people basically became animals and had no intelligence. And there's this one person, of course, the Omega Man, type syndrome. There's this one person who it didn't affect. And he's walking across the country looking for one other person who didn't forget. And I won't spoil it, because if you're listening to this, you should definitely check it out. Because
I can't find this.
Yeah, really? There's nothing about it.
The Winds of God. Well, that's a comedian tell. So the Winds of.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. The Winds of Forget.
Winds of Forget.
I'll have to do some poking around. I might be getting the title wrong, but that was it was because that was what it was
I
about.
see something about a cult and three men who served together in the Imperial Army in World War II, but that's a war movie. We'll find it.
But whatever. If I could swear that was the name of that was the title.
Maybe it is.
And it was real. And the ending today, I don't think would be as shocking, because the ending is kind of like probably telegraphed a little bit. But at the time, I remember the ending. I was just like, oh my! And my buddy and I were like, oh my god! Like, it was a twist ending, but it also it had that very like, when you lose technology, when you lose everything, people just become animals. Like, but this is back in like the early 90s, so that trope hadn't been played out like it is today.
Somebody had to do it, and it stinks that we will find just so many underrated movies. I would just find some on IFC or some of the other movie channels and be like, everyone wants to complain, even in a pre-clickbait world, about this movie or that movie that divides them. Why don't they talk about this movie? Because this movie was just plain intriguing. This was a genre movie. I would find so many suspense films from Brazil. I would find so many coming-of-age movies from Japan, and I would find just even some very good just crime thrillers from Sweden, some Iceland horror, survival films. And it just seems like you got to do some serious digging. And it's pretty much the only thing he's read it for. Other than that, it's kind of a cluster of where people just want to go and be angry. But it's like, no, I will legit ask, mention me a good home invasion movie that no one talks about. Mention me something.
Yeah.
So we should ask, find me a good apocalyptic movie that isn't formulaic, isn't based on any pre-existing concept. And so that's the other thing too. People are now like they're still making Hunger Games movies. I can't believe it. And they might reboot it like they do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They are making another one, aren't they?
But it's kind of the Harry Potter syndrome, where if you don't have an issue with the author being awful in real life, then you're just like, well, I guess we're just going to remake it because everyone's old. There wouldn't be a point in, having them play the role again.
And I read most of the Harry Potter books, I think. And I don't remember ever being like the movie wasn't true to the book. I mean, you're always going to get things that you either have to cut out or condense or combine.
They have to. And I always see someone, they can't give you a good reason. And it's just like, well, okay, so I'll tell you what, you get in Hollywood and you decide what will stay and what will go.
Right, but if you talk to a diehard Harry Potter fan, the book fan, they will say that, oh, the movies didn't do the books justice.
I'll see. I've seen that, and then I've seen others who are like, I'm cool with it, but then there's, I mean, I do it with Lord of the Rings, where you pretty much, if you've seen the trilogy, you pretty much read the book. There was like maybe two subplots that are in the second book that they put in the third movie, and I understand it just would have been too much to keep track of.
Yeah.
And they wisely omitted a character who could keep the ring safe, but ultimately he would still be caught. That would be just a false narrative. So I look at it like many of the John Grisham adaptations. Anything omitted would rob the movie of suspense. It must go.
Yeah.
It's great as a book because I'm using my imagination, but as a movie, I would be like, this feels hackneyed. This feels needless. This feels.
I love I love the meme that's been played out over the years of, why didn't they just fly the Eagles to?
Yeah.
Why had the Eagles this whole time? You could have just flown that too.
Why does he need them?
And there's a I think it's a fan theory that when Gandalf fights the Balrog and he's about to get dragged down, and he looks at them and goes, "Fly, you fools!" He was telling them to just get on the back of the Eagles. That was what
there
he was
you
saying.
go.
Just fly, and they were like, "Nah, we're gonna walk. We'll keep walking."
Yeah, we're busy fighting, helping out some other elves. And that's the other thing too. It doesn't matter how good a movie it is. There will be something you will find on X amount of time. Like I always did this with X-Files. It's like, why don't they just finally shoot Cancer Man? It's like, that's just it, because he preys on your fear. He says the one thing where, oh no, he's like all the serial killers and the psycho thrillers you watch. And
Yep.
But yes, like you say, it's like, oh, now what I would do differently, I wouldn't make it that detailed in that area, because now my mind is soaring with all the what ifs that could be avoided.
You break your,
it avoids all the carnage. Just as a segue, you've recently been on the Who Would Win show. You're back as a guest. It's been a while.
Yeah. Ray was kind enough to have me back, or foolish enough to have me back. And he offered me he said, choose any fictional character you want. And I said, there's only one. And I chose Airwolf. and he foolishly let me.
Yeah, but it was fun though too, because I never know what kind of every kind of character is represented on this death match of a show. It's kind of a fantasy football in a way, where everyone's predicting what the turnout will be, whether it's a video game or anime or TV show character. And it's even more wild how it just got to where James and Ray were like, Ray's going to do his own thing. It's a little more restrictive and time-based, and James is going to basically keep it with the same judge and the same co-host because he's tired of arguing with Ray. And
yeah, but you know what? It's smart. They built up their own characters. They built up their own.
It keeps it different. And then there's audio dramas on the feed. So there you go. But yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
It is well though too. Is like you got to make each 3 points matter. And
I really enjoyed it. And by the way, it was Airwolf versus Smog. Speaking of,
the dragon from Lord of the Rings
and Hobbits and the Hobbit.
That's my other problem with every other fantasy book adaptation. Everyone wants to imitate Lord of the Rings, but it is kind of almost like the Terminator Star Wars effect. People forget why it's good, so then they just roll with it. It's like no, just.
But you know what? I mean, it's almost like saying, well, you shouldn't base any stories or any characters off of like the Bible. But it was the first book. Like, how do you not? Like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were were literally the first major fantasy genre books, and they weren't just the first; they're fucking timeless. And
fair enough. It's just they just try to echo a style after a while, and it's like you don't have to do that. You can just mark it.
I didn't. So I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was in high school. Or in middle school and high school. I got a lot of sex too.
That's big of you. That's what these movies needed. They needed more sex.
Yeah, but in our party we had somebody named one of the guys named his character Gandalf, and one of the guys named his character Strider. But I hadn't read Lord of the Rings at the time, so I didn't get how
that's Aragorn's
kind of
alternate
sad
name.
That was.
Well, but to be fair, I mean, my mother's side of the family, my my mother and uncle read Dune. It's so funny how it's taken them multiple takes to try and get that to where it is now. And again, you're always going to have different sides to that equation. But my mother's sister was the only one who had read Lord of the Rings on her part of the family back in the 70s. But yeah, wizards weren't really, and fantasy stuff wasn't really as well known. I mean, there was Conan the Barbarian comics, but even then, like, so it is kind of funny how, yeah, Lord of the Rings is just slowly kind of just built throughout time. It survived everything. Like the estate didn't want them adapted at all, wanted no part of it, and they were big hits, making the money. So Rings of Power, I think, is wonderful, but a lot of people just did not want it. I'm like, well, here's the thing. Like, they were limited in what they could adapt. They had to go their own way. We can assume that however many seasons you give it, it will end where the movies begin.
Yeah. I didn't watch Rings of Power.
It basically, it was like these new Star Trek shows. It's taking the style. It's not part of the canon, but it is acknowledging them at the same time and using their similar style. I mean, I think they're doing as big a compromise as they can do. And they're also having fun with the concept. I have actually been wanting to rewatch some episodes just to see some of the elven lore and everything. There's a little, but it's not about, you know, trying to be trivial about what's in the books versus what's in the other movies. It's just kind of trying to get the general gist of the world and reflect on it a little more as if they would have you having a normal conversation pre-battle and what have you. And what do they do for fun? Because again, you can't be doing battles nonstop. You gotta have some actual character growth.
I'll tell you what, there's a series of books, TSR books, and TSR is the company that owned Dungeons and Dragons. They did.
Whoa.
And there's a world, a Dungeons and Dragons world universe, whatever you call it, called Dragonlance. And
oh yes.
Did you ever read any of them?
I did not read that, but there was actually a cartoon movie of that.
Terrible.
But I was just guffawing at it the whole time. I was just like, whoa.
Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, who wrote the Dragonlance novels and who the novels were based off of a D&D campaign that they actually played, will tell you that that cartoon movie was awful.
It had some good voice acting though.
Who is it?
They had Lucy Lawless and Kiefer Sutherland as the voices.
Sofia Vergara's husband. What's his name? Big guy. He was
what's
Magic Mike.
Oh, Joe Manganiello.
Yeah. He is a huge Dragonlance fan.
I had no idea. I know Vin Diesel's a big D&D guy.
He's been pushing to get Dragonlance made into a movie. And the books, the original, I think it's like 6 books. And obviously all of Dungeons and Dragons stems from, Tolkien's work.
They could adapt Dragon Dynasty Warriors and some of those other PlayStation 2.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff out there, but Dragonlance has some amazing characters who would be awesome to see either in, like a Netflix series.
So there you go. Yeah. 6-part, 8-part.
And they've tried over the year. They've been trying for like 30 years to make it into a movie.
Why do you think so much resistance? Is it just because the original Dungeons and Dragons movie and cartoon were infamous, or is it just people being ignorant?
I mean, it's the same reason why did it take them so long to make a Dungeons and Dragons movie. That movie was actually pretty good that they made with
the new one. Yeah, pretty good.
It was pretty good. But
instead we get stuff like Battlefield Earth, and we're like, why? Why?
I mean, why. It comes down to dollars and cents, and there's some bean counter with a graph and says, well, this movie will probably do this, but here's the audience for it, and here's how much we have to spend to pull in more audience, and it's not worth it, so we're not going to do it. And and then once in a while they'll take a risk on a movie, or a director will come.
Look at unknown stars, which is what they should be doing anyway.
Absolutely.
We're not being preconditioned or judgmental.
You don't have to put The Rock in everything.
Exactly. Kevin Hart doesn't need comedy relief and everything. They could do easily what they did with Kong Skull Island. Get a guy who does like ESPN or Xbox commercials or cinematics and say, okay, man, I hear you're good. You're on budget. You're on time. You're very visually stunning. You go first.
And Kong Skull Island was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's just literally just a fun homage. And that's the other thing too. Homages shouldn't be this hard too. You see so many people doing stuff on the nose. It's like there's not much movie underneath it. If you haven't seen those other movies, it's like just a homage should still be accompanying the basic premise. You should still be having fun with your concept instead of I'm bored. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
just
I just
randomly
watched the new Frankenstein movie.
Oh,
Del Toro's
mm-hmm.
Frankenstein, and I actually don't think I finished it. And it's based off of
Mary
it's supposed-
Shelley. Yeah.
Yes, sort of. But it was like it just did too much. It just was too much.
That's
It
the
was just too
thing.
much.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Monster Squad or Leaving Extraordinary Gentlemen take on all those Universal monsters, but then when you see how Universal
They
kept
tried.
they tried doing that, but it was supposed to be like Marvel and DC. It's like, no, just do your own thing. Make a fun adventure where these characters go on side quests, or they're just part of like it could be like the Minotaur in Greek mythology, where it's just
Well,
a
look,
little small.
James Gunn's Monster. What was it called? The cartoon that he just did. That's in the DC universe.
Oh, I know the one you're. I think.
I don't know why I'm blanking on it. Monster
Creature Commandos.
Creature
Yes.
Commandos.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was fantastic.
So there you go. Yeah,
Great.
you could
Great.
make it like that.
It. And it had it has Frankenstein. It has the Bride of Frankenstein in it. Just called The Bride. It was great. it was really, really done well. But you know what? You have to have James Gunn loves the material,
Doing gothic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he loves, and people have strong opinions about whether or not he's doing the right thing with the DC universe. I liked what he's done so far, but you can't say that he doesn't love the source material. And
Well, that's the other thing too.
Trying.
I will see people do the whole try to predict creator is like, as long as they're not just the producer where they're just the money man, is like I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt before I call someone a soulless filmmaker.
Totally.
And it's funny too how I see other people trying to take everything the producer says, and it's like you should take it all at face value because it's going to be some truth, but it's also going to be a mixture of they're saying what they think you want to hear. People just assume you're an entertainer, so therefore you must be,
right,
really engaged. It's like, no, they're approaching it like they would your boring post office job.
Yeah. A lot of people just see it as a job, and a lot of and we've seen a lot of movies where it's like, this was the paycheck. This was for whoever was involved, whether it was the actors or the director. This was just the paycheck.
I'm down to invite you in the future. I am starting a true crime history podcast, but we're going to be exploring more kind of like political scandals, entertainment mishaps, and even the Kennedys. But we would definitely talk about just some unusual filmmakers who were kind of,
that's cool.
They thought they were hot shit, but they were basically canon film equivalents. And at the end, we could decide, are they a good producer, but they had too many flops? Did they have a vision, but didn't know how to execute it? Or were they just soulless, just spending dollars?
I like that. Good for you.
So everybody, just a lot of fair game. That there's plenty of them where it's like, yeah, I cannot deny you made some total sacks of shit, but looks like you played the producer game and you got burnt out after a while.
That's funny. Yep.
But no, this has been a delight having you on here. Is there any other upcoming podcasts you want to promote? Or
just check out my website, kevinisrael.com. I actually just updated my website. So I actually have
everyone, please listen to the album. It's really a delight.
Check out my album, The Struggle is Real. And hopefully within the next 18 months, I'll have a new one out.
You make a lot of just very relatable scenarios. It's nothing ever too complex, but it is very fulfilling.
Thank you.
Because we've always been just feeling like we're the outcasts in the room. And before everyone goes, speak for yourself. It's like, no, everyone's at that moment where I don't belong here, but I want to be part of this scene. And to break into stand up, it's cool to just have a bunch of other alternatives.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that, Kim.
I see so many. They won't. It's weird how comedy albums go and they kind of fluctuate. I see others, they have vinyls that they still get, but there's still others healthily listening to stuff on Spotify, and I have Apple working nonstop. I'm always listening to a comedy album, and it's like, wow, I forgot so and so started out at this improv comedy club here. It's a blast.
I don't listen to as much anymore because you don't want it to get into your mind, and then weeks later you start writing something. It happens too easily.
Yes.
So I was a comedy fanatic back in the day. And then once I started doing it, it became like your own sort of art.
Yes.
You always want to be, true to yourself and write real material, and you never want to like,
Yes.
oh, and then somebody come and say, didn't Bill Burr do that joke? You're like, ah, shit.
Yeah. Just avoid the typecast, avoid the copyright issue.
Yep.
Oh, this is dynamite.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up